And where is this guy today? Let's find out. Noodles, you are in. That's a vehicle, not a plane, correct?
I'm in the vehicle.
Okay.
I'm at the orthodontist because my 13-year-old daughter needs her braces adjusted.
Oh,
so
boy.
we're doing that, and she was loving the song, the made-up song just before.
Oh,
she was
okay.
looking at me going, "What the hell was that?" And I said, "It's." They've got great songs here on the show. So we were listening to it, and it's great. We're fired up. I mean, it's a Wednesday morning. Talk a little hockey, talk a little everything. I love it.
Get some braces adjusted. I mean, you know what?
Exactly.
I always was mad at my parents because neither my sister or I had great teeth, but they're like, we can only afford braces for one of you. And they gave my sister braces. Like, my teeth ended up being okay. It worked out, but I was always like, why couldn't I get braces as a kid? But she's the one who got them. So
I needed braces. I've got piano keys for teeth, and it's not good. But you know what? At the end of the day, as a goalie, you're thinking, oh, maybe they'll get knocked out at some point. You get a slap shot in the face or something. But all I had was the Dumb and Dumber chipped teeth. That's all that happened to me. Throughout my career, I looked like Lloyd Christmas half the time with the half of a front tooth. That was it.
Jamie McLennan with us on the show. We were just talking about Noodles, but I have to know. I'm going to call that game with you on March 5th. Are you ready to carry me for my first NHL broadcast? What do you think?
So I just heard that, honestly, 30 minutes ago. I just got a text saying, hey, you're working with Dusty. And I wasn't sure if you knew or we were allowed to bring it up on the show, but I am pretty fired up. I'm very unique to work with, so I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to carry me. We're going to have a lot of fun. I don't know.
I think doing this for years will help. Yeah.
It'll be fun. Half the time you're going to look over at me and I'm eating popcorn. So it'll be, you'll see.
It's funny that you bring up popcorn because, doing a bunch of CFL games across, Ottawa, for example. Ottawa has great popcorn in their press box at Red Blacks games. But I've realized that if I eat popcorn before a game, I always worry about maybe I choke on it or cough on it a little bit. And also sometimes it messes with my stomach. So I'm completely off of popcorn before games. I can't believe you do that.
I'll eat popcorn, pretzels, you name it. I'm Kramer, Cosmo Kramer. These pretzels are making me thirsty, and I will eat them. It doesn't matter. There's only been a few times where I literally have forgotten that we're live in like 5 seconds, and I'll grab a handful of popcorn, and I've got a mouthful of it. And you're like, you got to choke it down before you start talking. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe it's the start of our new partnership in the booth. I love it.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, so you got to help us with the Oilers goaltenders here because we're trying to figure it out. So Tristan Jarry in Pittsburgh had a .909 save percentage and a 2.66 goals against average. Stuart Skinner in Pittsburgh has kind of similar .906 save percentage, and that was with 3 really tough starts at the beginning. Yep. And he's got a 2.31 goals against average. Tristan Jarry in Edmonton has an .884 save percentage and a 3.23 goals against average, which are both worse than Skinner at 2.83 and .891. So, but we're sitting here this morning talking about being like, it feels like you're more confident in Jarry giving you a big save when you want. The eye test to us tells us that he looks like a better goalie, yet the numbers aren't backing it up. Both of them have better numbers in Pittsburgh than they do in Edmonton. Is this a Edmonton thing, or are we just so excited to see somebody else that we're kind of like blind to Tristan Jarry's play so far?
You know what it is? It's an Edmonton thing. It's the way they defend sometimes. I think they take their foot off the gas. The other night, they gave up 40 shots to Anaheim in a back-to-back situation. Now, Anaheim is a very talented offensive team. But that game was over the minute they had the explosion in the second period. So then what happens is, they give up a couple moldy ones later in the game, and it hurts Jarry's numbers. Everyone is not wrong. The trade can win for both sides. Stuart Skinner can go on and be a good goaltender in a different situation under different circumstances. And Tristan Jarry can come to Edmonton and be a good goaltender for the Oilers. And I've said this all along. Regardless of the goaltender, it's the style they play. Tristan Jarry plays a different style than Stuart Skinner. I've said this before. He moves side to side, and he doesn't fall forward. Stuart Skinner moves side to side and falls forward a little bit. Like, to me, you look at Ingram, you look at Jarry, they play a different style. They've got cleaner butterflies. So the eye test looks different. Even though if Jarry gives up a crappy goal, it's going to happen. He's going to give up bad goals. We saw Stuart Skinner so much. And keep in mind, he played 59 games a couple years ago. He's, and the playoffs, you've watched him 70 games every year. You're going to see the best and the worst of him. But Stuart Skinner, I think the eye test is like, oh, I don't trust that he's going to make that glove save, where Jarry makes it look easy. So it's their numbers will probably be the same, but it's just how you feel about the goaltender right now. 2 years from now, you might feel the same way that you felt about Stuart Skinner, but right now, it's new, it's fresh, it's a new relationship. You're still building it with Jarry. The one thing that I've liked about Jarry, which is a lot like Stuart Skinner, is they don't wear goals. Like they don't get, they're not excitable in the net. The other night, if you look at Ekholm scores a hat trick, okay? Jarry's leaning on his net like he's asleep beside him.
Didn't even look over. They're just straight ahead.
Look over him. I don't know if you noticed that, but I was like, God, Tristan Jarry's just leaning on the net. Like, he's got this calm demeanor about him. To me, it looks different, even though the amount of saves might be relatively the same. It's just a different style in the net. And I think you look at him, Ingram is a significant upgrade on anybody who was else in that position, whether it's Pickard or somebody else. I think the tandem is different. It's not that long ago, was it a couple weekends ago, they had back-to-back shutouts. Yeah. So, I'm not complaining. I think both situations can be right. That you can be happy in your new environment if you're Stu Skinner, and you can be happy with Tristan Jarry and Connor Ingram.
They had back-to-back shutouts. Then they've allowed 15 goals in the last 3 games, but also scored 15 goals in those 3 games. And I did want to point out, because it is doing a disservice, and I know you like Ingram's game. Ingram with Edmonton so far, .909 save percentage and a 2.40 goals against average, so significantly better than the other 2 guys. It has seemed so he got pulled a couple of games ago. They brought in Jarry. People were saying, well, why didn't they pull Jarry when he got lit up early there against Pittsburgh? It does seem like Knoblauch might approach this as Jarry is sort of his 1A and maybe Ingram's his 1B, but I mean, I'd like to see Ingram just as much.
I agree. And I do think that it was weird that 3-0, 4 minutes in, and they didn't lift him. But I think it was more of a statement going, all right, guys, like, I'm going to see if all of you guys can get out of it. And they were just out to lunch that night, everybody. I mean, it was just a stinker. So I think a lot of times a coach looks at it and goes, I've got a bullet in the chamber here. Am I going to waste a pull that could potentially mess with the psyche of a goaltender on a game we're not going to win anyways? Let's see if he can battle out of it. Like, a lot of times the coach in those scenarios, you're still going through the process of testing your goaltender to see, does he need to be pulled or does he have the resolve to fight through it? And I think that's, you're still developing that relationship between coach and goaltender. If you pull him and he's pissed, then all of a sudden maybe it takes a game or 2 to get him back. Where you let him fight through it, they end up losing, 6-2 that night? Yeah, it's a bad game, but it was a bad game for everybody, and you flush it, and you don't have to use that bullet in the chamber as like, oh, Jarry got pulled. Even though he probably should have been, it's just sometimes you allow a guy to fight through the game, even though he doesn't have his A game.
Jack Roslovic, Noodles, 41 games, 14 goals, 22 points. Filling a need. Decent price point to start the season, but a rumored $4 million-ish deal floated out yesterday. Is that a little too much too soon here when it comes to that player and where this club is at?
I don't think so. Remind me of his age again, 28?
Yeah, I think he's probably about 28, maybe 29.
28.
28, yeah.
On the nose.
Yeah. I mean, you're still getting, like, the skating's not going anywhere. I think he's a top-tier talent. Now, I think his game has cooled off since he's come back from the injury.
Yeah,
and
he has 2 goals in January and no assists, so it's cooled off, yeah.
It's cooled off, but he's being placed in a different situation too, right? Like that third line, they're small, they're skilled, they're trying to find their way still. I listen, $4 million for a guy I think he's a 25 goal scorer every day of the week. I mean, maybe it's too much too soon, but you also might get value of it on a guy who wants to stay, who's 28. Like, his game's not going to drop off. Like I say, I worry about long-term deals on guys who have to work to skate. And what I mean by that is when you watch a guy, the guy might be fast, but he has to like work. For Roslovic, he's an effortless skater. So his skating's not going to erode in the next 4 years. So really, it's just where are you going to place him? Is he a top 6 or is he a top 9? At $4 million a year, you might have to give some term to get that money. But I think it's a value contract for me. Off the top of my head, I would have to dive into his numbers and everything. But here's a guy who probably could have got that in the offseason and waited and then ended up signing for what, 1.5?
Yeah,
and now he's going to get that contract instead of moving on as a free agent.
Noodles, before we let you go, so we were talking about yesterday, and I don't want to slight a guy, but when I watch you others play, I don't see them missing Adam Henrique. So
Nope.
and he's got trade protection, so it's not like you can just sort of pawn him off on another team. But I think they're quicker without him. How do you approach this? I guess when Henrique's ready to play again, likely after the Olympics. They're going to put him back in, but what do you do?
I've said this before. There's 3 players that I have concerns with on that roster that they're going to have to be creative or at least get them going. It's Frederic, it's Henrique, and it's Mangiapane. And, all of them have shown flashes. I will say Frederic skated a little bit better the other night. He looked a little bit quicker that he could get to spots. But there's still nights where he looks a step behind. And so those 3 players are massive decisions because you look at the way the third line's built, it's too small. So you do need Henrique. You do need Frederic. You need size if they're playing to their capability. In a perfect world, Stan pulls off exactly what he did with Kulak. With, Spencer Stastny, he got a younger Kulak. I would love to see a younger Henrique somewhere in your lineup because Henrique's a really good, smart player. But I say this to all of my friends in hockey. Father Time is undefeated. And it looks like he's lost a step. Now, maybe this injury, a refresher, he comes back and looks more refreshed and looks quicker. But Henrique's a really smart player. But I think of those 3 players that Stan is either going to have to make decisions on or he's going to have to upgrade or at least get their games going to a point if Edmonton is going to, continue to battle with the top tier teams in the league. Because, you could have one guy who's not going, but I think of 3. Am I missing somebody else that I would throw into that?
I mean, offensively, Janmark would be included in that group, but he does some other things. But those 3 guys are making over $10 million between them, right? Like that's
exactly.
You got to get
Janmark, I give a pass to. I know he's not ultra skilled, and if he had any hands, he would be a 15 to 20 goal scorer. But Janmark is great on the kill. Janmark is really good. He's got great pace. I don't think he hurts you from a standpoint. If you have one Janmark and those other 3 are going, no problem. The problem is Janmark, now those guys are in Janmark territory as far as production. And that's concerning because you can't have $10 million that's not producing and not giving you what they're getting paid. Put it that way.
And just quickly, probably no shortage of topics to discuss on Overdrive when it comes to you guys and $5,000 middle fingers and gym accidents, including Leafland. How close are they to being a seller, if not already there, in your opinion?
I'm concerned it's Black Armband Day today on the show. You go 0-5 on a homestand. You're now 8 points back of a playoff spot. And, Buffalo ran you out of your own building last night. There's going to be, if we were allowed to swear, there was going to be some language on the show today. So we'll see how it goes.
Good stuff, Noodles. We'll let you get back to waiting for your daughter, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That is Jamie McLennan. He's our GS Construction Hockey Insider today. Joined us on our Firehouse Subs hotline.
And your color man.
And my color analyst, March 5th in Calgary.